Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about wheel hardness or wheel durometer if you want to be real fancy, and what hardness might be right for you. So this is just hardness, this isn't different brands between the wheels. You can see I have the wheels laid out here from hardest to hardest up here, and then it goes down and then it goes to softest right here. So I'm just going to be talking about it, telling you what might be right for you. So let's get into it. Alright, so getting into it, here's the first wheel we're going to be starting off with. This is Lebeda asphalt, and this is a really hard wheel. So this is a strictly outdoor use wheel only. If it ever focuses, I can show you the hardness. It's an 85A wheel. You can see right there. So this is a strictly outdoor use wheel only, and the reason it is because if you ride it on any type of sport court, if you're just skating in a skating rink or whatever, this is going to be, especially if it's like on a wood floor or a cement floor, or a smooth cement floor or a urethane floor or anything like that, it's going to have very little flex in it, and it's going to be a harder rubber or urethane. So it's just not going to stick to the floor as good, and it's not going to have the same type of flex when you go around the corners to stick and really grab the ground. So basically the overall thing with wheels is you want, if you're riding indoor, you want some sort of wheel that's going to give you enough stick, but without it crushing down too much, where you're going to either destroy the wheel or it's going to be killing your speed too much. So you could go with something like this, but this is going to be a strictly outdoor wheel only, unless you want to put it, if you're like a really advanced skater, you could put this on like the middle back position of your skates, but not all the way back, because the back position is going to have the most you're going to rely on the most grip for your back in the back position of your skate. So you could put that anywhere. I don't recommend that, especially if you're starting out and going right to the hardest wheel there is. So, but this is also basically, this is a high-low clinger. This is actually a really good outdoor wheel, but it's a 82A. It's worn off here, but it did say, oops, out of frame. It's a 82A wheel, and so it's slightly softer than the previous wheel we talked about. It's slightly softer, but it's still not going to be real great for indoor use, just because of its hardness of it. So this is going to wear a lot faster. You are going to have a lot more grip, though, compared to something like this when you're riding it outside. So that's one benefit. It's going to wear a lot faster outside, but it's also going to give you a lot more grip. So you could do some sort of variation between different hardnesses of wheels. So you could do the same thing, putting it in middle positions or just playing around with it. This is also a really loud wheel when hockey stopping, so you could also use this wheel for like a indoor-outdoor kind of wheel. That's generally what a 78A wheel, which I'll be talking about shortly, is. Generally, that's kind of the accepted thing, is a 78A for indoor-outdoor. But this wheel right here is a very nice wheel, especially for outdoors. I don't really recommend it for indoors. So the next up is 80A, or 80 durometer. So this is when you start to get into, if you're good enough to start squishing down the wheel, if you're skating aggressively enough, or if you're just heavier. This is going to be when you can start having a harder, this is about the hardest you want to go for indoors. If you're skating indoor-outdoor, this is going to be a good wheel also. So this wheel wears very good, especially if you ride it indoors, obviously. But still, if you're not very advanced, this is going to be a hard wheel to skate on. You're going to want to slide out a lot and stuff. So, alright, so moving on, this is a Lebeda shooter. This is a 78A wheel. This is your most widely accepted wheel for indoor-outdoor wheel. I personally used this hardness of wheel, specifically these Lebeda shooters, for indoor use for a long time and had no problems. And I'm about 175 pounds and I had no problems riding it. So I overall like a 78A wheel. It's one of my favorite hardnesses of wheels out of all of the wheels here. I generally like harder than softer wheels. So, but you can, if you're not very experienced and you're not shredding very hard, then you can go with something like this for indoor or outdoor use. But I wouldn't recommend it solely for outdoor use, especially if you're shredding very hard. So next wheel is this Lebeda, or no, excuse me, this is a Rink Rat Split Triple X Hornet wheel. This actually came off of some AC1s I have, and this is overall this is a 76A wheel. So 76A is like almost as soft as you're going to get, but this is a pretty widely accepted wheel for indoor use only. You're not going to want to use this for outdoors at all, pretty much no matter what your skill level is, because it's just going to shred so quickly. So I wouldn't recommend this for anything outdoor at all, but it is going to be really grippy. This is going to be really grippy, especially if you're skating really hard on it and crushing it down. This is a 76A wheel is basically what everyone rides if they're riding indoors a lot. This is mostly the hardness of what hockey players use, roller hockey players. So overall, this is a great hardness of a wheel. So moving on to the last wheel, this is a 74A wheel, and the problem with 74A wheels, it's basically the softest wheel, but the problem with them is that when you start to get lower end wheels of 74A hardness, they start to split a lot. So like if you get any cheap Rink Rat wheels, 74A wheels, they're going to be really grippy and really nice, but they're going to start to split. So you're going to have to get, if you're going to ride 74A, you're going to have to get really nice wheels, like something like this, because they are going to start to split on you unless you get some nice wheels. So they are going to have a lot of flex, especially if you're heavier like I am. They're going to want to flex, especially when you're cornering or anything. They feel like they're rolling over a lot. So if you're anywhere past like 130 pounds, maybe even lighter than that, you're probably not going to want to ride 74A wheels. So my personal favorite would be 80A or 78A, and if you're pretty advanced, then you're going to probably want to go with a 78A for indoor use only. If you're doing outdoor skating only, you're going to want to go with either of these pretty much no matter what your skill level is. You could go with something like this if you're a beginner and you want a lot of grip still outside, but at that point you're probably not going to notice the grip difference with that. So I'd probably go with one of these if you're a beginner skating outside. If you're a beginner skating inside, I'd probably go with either these or these. It would probably be a 76A wheel though that I would go with if I wouldn't go with this, a 74A to start. So even though it is going to offer a lot of grip, if you put this maybe in the middle of your skate somewhere, it would be really probably beneficial, because you would have support from some other wheels so that it wouldn't roll over so much. But overall, if you're a beginner skating inside, I would probably go with a 76A wheel. If you're advanced skating inside, I would go with this or this. And yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I can try to answer them. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.